Imagine spending more money on a watch than on a luxury sports car, not because it's covered in diamonds, not because it's made of gold, but because of a tiny spinning cage that's smaller than a coin. This miniature machine can take months to build, contains dozens of microscopic parts, and is assembled almost entirely by hand. One mistake, one speck of dust, one part that's just a fraction of a millimeter off, and the entire mechanism fails. So why do some collectors willingly pay hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars for it? To answer that, we have to travel inside one of the most extraordinary inventions in watchmaking, the tourbillon. Before we understand the tourbillon, we first need to understand the problem it was created to solve. Mechanical watches keep time using a balance wheel. Think of it as the beating heart of the watch. It swings back and forth thousands of times every hour, controlling every tick. But over 200 years ago, watches spent most of their lives standing vertically inside people's pockets. Gravity constantly pulled on the delicate components. That tiny pull was enough to make watches gain or lose precious seconds every day. Back then, a few seconds could mean missing trains, navigation errors. Watchmakers desperately searched for a solution. In 1801, a brilliant French watchmaker named Abraham Louis Breguet introduced an invention unlike anything the world had seen. Instead of allowing gravity to pull on the balance wheel from only one direction, he placed the entire escapement inside a rotating cage. As the cage slowly turned, usually completing one revolution every minute, gravity affected the mechanism from every angle. The tiny errors began averaging themselves out. The result? More consistent timekeeping, at least for pocket watches. Now comes the truly unbelievable part, building one. Every tourbillon begins as raw metal. Using ultra-precise CNC machines, manufacturers cut components from hardened steel, brass, titanium, or other specialized alloys. Some parts measure less than a millimeter, others are thinner than a human hair. Each gear is polished until its surface becomes almost mirror-like. Even microscopic imperfections create friction, and friction steals accuracy. The rotating cage alone can contain over 40 individual parts. Some luxury brands spend days polishing edges that most owners will never even see, not because they have to, because perfection is part of the tradition. Now imagine assembling a puzzle, where every piece is almost invisible. Watchmakers sit beneath powerful microscopes. Using tweezers thinner than sewing needles, they position each component by hand. One misplaced screw, one tiny fingerprint, or one grain of dust can ruin weeks of work. The balance spring, one of the most delicate parts, is carefully installed. This tiny spring breathes in and out thousands of times every hour. Then comes the rotating cage. The entire mechanism must remain perfectly balanced. If one side becomes even slightly heavier, the tourbillon loses the very precision it was built to achieve. Once assembled, the watch isn't finished. It enters days, sometimes weeks, of testing. Watchmakers measure its accuracy in different positions. They inspect the movement under magnification. Some luxury brands even decorate parts that will remain hidden forever. Hand engraving, Geneva striping, tiny beveled edges. These aren't added to improve performance. They're added because the movement itself is considered a work of art. Here's something surprising. Modern technology has made the tourbillon almost unnecessary. Today's watches use improved materials, advanced lubricants, silicone components, and incredibly precise manufacturing. Many ordinary mechanical watches keep excellent time without one. Even inexpensive quartz watches are often more accurate. So why do tourbillons still exist? Because today, they're no longer just engineering, they're craftsmanship. Owning one is like owning a hand-built masterpiece. It represents hundreds of hours of skill compressed into something that fits on your wrist. Every second, the tiny cage continues its silent rotation, a constant reminder of an invention born more than 2 centuries ago. built to fight an invisible force that affects every object on Earth: gravity. Whether or not a tourbillon still makes a watch significantly more accurate today is almost beside the point, because what collectors are really buying isn't just precision, it's history, engineering, patience, and one of the greatest mechanical achievements ever created by human hands. The next time you see a tourbillon spinning inside a luxury watch, remember, you're not just looking at a watch movement, you're looking at hundreds of years of innovation, reduced to something smaller than a coin.